started this, and it had been talked about for a decade or longer. So we got some of the county commissioners decided that they would like to take this on as a task, and I really appreciate them doing this because they were funding the project. And they decided to use PIFA out of Knoxville, which is a Partnership for Education Facilities Assessment. They may have talked to you. But let me give you a little bit of a lowdown about what they did within the system. And again, I appreciate the commission doing that. It cost a little over $125,000 to do that. And it ended up being 2 phases. There was a 3rd phase, but they decided that didn't need to happen, and I agree with them. We had enough data and information from that point. But what they did, they came in and looked at each facility for what I consider really a sort of a short period of time, about an hour and a half each, and they looked at the main spaces within the school, the classrooms, lunch rooms. They looked at the main electrical, mechanical parts of it, the heating, cooling system, the electric work throughout the building. And as you can imagine, in a number of the old buildings, it was not what it needed to be, with rooms with computers and that sort of thing, needing pulling the electricity that they needed. And then they also interviewed the administrator, or the principal, the administrator, a administrator within the building, and the head custodian, along with Joe Mike Akert, who Joe was our maintenance supervisor at that point. So they talked about each building, at least for a little while, and they gave a general overview or assessment of the physical plant by doing this and the condition of each facility. And what they did, they used this to measure the conditions and identify areas that might need further investigation as to deficiencies within the building and what corrective measures might need to be taken inside of a building if they happen to notice something that was really, I guess, real meaningful that needed to be dealt with quickly, that just seemed to spring out against with the building. And after taking all these aspects into consideration, they gave each building a grade. It was an A to an F, and not only a letter grade, but they gave them a number grade from 100 down to 59 or below. And we had buildings that ran the gamut. We had some down in the 40s, and we had some in the 80s and 90s. And of course, as you can imagine, the newer facilities had the higher scores, and the lower facilities had the others. They looked at roofs, and that was one of the things that is a constant thorn in the sides of Sullivan County, are the roofs on buildings. And I really wonder why someone came up with a flat roof.
We've asked that same question.
Because, you know, it's very difficult to keep a flat roof on and it not leak over a period of time. So, but anyway, roofs were a real problem when we had some of our roofs really down. I remember one time at East, now this was back in the 80s, that we had trash cans inside the hallways with plastic funneling the water down from the roofs into the 50-gallon trash cans. So, you know, you do what you have to do. But